We're watching developments for you as the SABC News channel throughout the country. Nomzwanele is in Mthatha watching more of the day's developing stories. Nomzwanele, what do you have for us?
Well, greetings to you and to our viewers at home. We're still at Savoy here in Mthatha, where SALGA is having a conference that will take 2 days, focusing on strengthening local capacity and leadership. But we do have Mr. Sonwabo Gqegqe, who will be talking to us about this conference. Mr. Gqegqe, there were your main objectives. Let me start there, as to ensure that you strengthen the local capacity, and we've seen local government struggling to deliver services, especially when it comes to water, when it comes to the disasters that they are facing. The aftermath is very bad, and these victims do not have means to cope with the disasters that they face, because we've seen some losing their houses and not being able to get those houses or build themselves those houses. And one of the things that you do is to ensure that local municipalities are able to deliver on those services. Are you happy with the work that you've done so far, and are you seeing the change in the work that you're doing as SALGA?
Good morning, Ms. Bacela, and good morning to your viewers. It's a bit of a yes and no. We're quite happy that we are strengthening our ability to respond to disasters. We're working on firming up and ensuring that whenever there's disaster, we're able to reach out to everybody. We work with partners. The private sector has been on board, especially the most recent disaster. Communities have actually assisted each other in terms of households hosting those that were affected by the disaster. There are challenges. Some of the challenges are mostly in terms of alignment, in terms of planning amongst the three spheres of government. More often than not, you find that processes that unfold in terms of responding to a disaster at a national level would be finalized at a time when a municipality is almost wrapping up its financial year, and you find that there are delays insofar as making sure that there is an immediate response to disaster. So there's work that needs to be done in terms of overhauling the whole disaster management response system. There's work that needs to be done in terms of empowering people on how to respond to disasters, early warning systems, activating traditional leaders, activating ward committee members, activating street committees in townships to ensure that whenever there's an early warning system, everybody in every household receives it. There's work that needs to be done in terms of ensuring that people should, at as much as possible, avoid illegal land occupation, where mostly, and especially in the recent disaster, many of the victims were essentially those that had built their houses in areas that are flatline, in areas that are very, very close to rivers. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's also work that needs to be done in terms of integrating the entire system, whereas the local government system will work with the provincial sphere, the national sphere, whether SA, the police, the army, and the media, to ensure that there is smooth communication to forewarn people about possible disasters. There's also work that needs to be done in terms of ensuring that our people avoid doing certain things that in themselves actually provoke Mother Nature.
You speak about work that needs to be done that include people, of which is one of the things that you want to do in this conference. You want people to be included. Are you only holding these conferences, or are there any programs that you are doing, going to the people, going to where they are, considering that, especially in the Eastern Cape, there are people who do not have access to information because they are in rural areas?
Well, our model of communication as SALGA, particularly in the province, is as much as possible to connect all community radio stations, because they have a much reach out and coverage to the people. But most importantly, this conference is the first of what will be an annual conference where we will activate all stakeholders. We will empower local leaders. We will strengthen the partnerships that we have started. You'll see in the program we have the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders. We're hoping to bring on board civil society. We're hoping to bring on board all community organizations, including church leaders. So to a greater extent, it is quite possible that we can, as much as possible, empower people to respond to disasters themselves. And that includes building technology, because in some cases you find that some people ought not to have been affected by the disaster. It's simply the manner in which some of the houses were built.
Thank you, Mr. Gqeqe. That was Mr. Sonwabo Gqeqe, who is the Provincial Director of Operations at SALGA, just telling us about the work that still needs to be done in the review that needs to be done on some of the management plans that are in place.